Dear students, in this lecture we will discuss the circular convolution property of DFT. Circular convolution. Convolution is in between the two sequences. So the first sequence is x1 of n and second sequence is x2 of n. The DFT of first sequence x of 1 of n is x1 of k, and the DFT of second sequence x2 of n is x2 of k. And the sequence circular convolution of two sequence x1 of n circle represents circular convolution. You know, star represents linear convolution. Star sign represents linear convolution. And this n sign represents circular convolution. Circular convolution of two sequence x1 of n and x2 of n is equals to x1 of k into x2 of k. Means convolution in time domain is equals to multiplication in frequency domain. The formula of circular convolution, always remember this formula, is y of m is equals to summation n is from 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n and x2 of double bracket m minus n of n, means circular sequence where m varies from 0 to n minus 1. N is length of the sequence. In circular convolution, sequence length x1 of n and x2 of n is equal. If the sequences are not equal, then make it equal by appending 0. So n is length of the sequence. M varies from 0 to n minus 1. Similarly, this n also varies from 0 to n minus 1. So we have to prove this formula. Means y of m is equals to this. Let's start the proof. First, the DFT of sequence x1 of n is x1 of k, and this is the standard formula of DFT. Summation n is 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n e raised to power minus j 2 pi n k upon n. Now the DFT of second sequence x2 of k is x2 of n is x2 of k, and this is the standard formula. L is from 0 to n minus 1 x2 of l e raised to power minus j 2 pi l k upon n. We write here n and here we write n just to distinguish two sequence. Now let y of k is equals to x1 of k and x2 of k. Now the inverse DFT of y of k, inverse DFT of y of k will be equal to y of m, and the formula of inverse DFT is 1 by n. K is from 0 to n minus 1 y of k e raised to power j 2 pi m k upon n. Here we write m just to distinguish the sequence, and y of k is x1 of k into x2 of k. Replace this y of k by x1 of k, x2 of k in this formula. Y of m is equals to 1 by n. As such, summation, as such, y of k is replaced by x1 of k into x2 of k e raised to power j 2 pi m k upon n is as such. Now the formula of x1, put the formula of x1 of k and x2 of k that were written in the equation 1 and 2. x1 of k is n is from 0 to n minus 1 x1 of n e raised to power minus j 2 pi n k upon n, and x2 of k is l is from 0 to n minus 1 x of l e raised to power minus j 2 pi l k upon n, and this e raised to power j 2 pi m k upon n as such. Now rearrange the summation. 1 by n as such, summation n is from 0 to n minus 1, then x1 of n, right? Take summation l is equals to 0 to n minus 1 x2 of l, and now consider this summation k is from 0 to n minus 1 and multiply it with e raised to power minus j 2 pi n k upon n, e raised to power minus j 2 pi l k upon n, and e raised to power j 2 pi m k upon n. The summation is n and we consider n variable. Summation is l, we consider l variable. Summation is k, we consider k variables. And we arranged this equation. Now 1 by n, as such n is from 0 to n minus 1, x1 of n, L is from 0 to n minus 1, x2 of L, k is from 0 to n minus 1, and take e raised to power j 2 pi k common from these values. Here we left with minus n, here we left with minus L, here we left with m. Now e raised to power j 2 pi k minus m minus n minus L will be equals to e raised to power j 2 pi m minus L minus L upon n raised to power k. Now compare this with standard finite summation formula. Here is finite summation. Finite because the summation is from 0 to n minus 1 instead of infinity. Standard formula for finite summation is summation k is from 0 to n minus 1, a raised to power k is equals to n for a is equals to 1 and is equals to 1 minus a raised to power n upon 1 minus a for a is not equal to n. We will consider only the first case. No need to consider the second case. Means we will consider only this part. Summation k is from for this. Summation k is from 0 to n minus 1, e raised to power k. This whole part is equals to a. Means e raised to power j 2 pi m minus n minus L upon n is a raised to power k is equals to n for a is equals to 1. Here a is equals to e raised to power j 2 pi m minus n minus L upon n. Now consider the first case when a is equals to 1. When this part will be equal to 1, then we write whole summation equals to n. So to become e raised to power j 2 pi m minus n minus L upon n equals to 1, this m minus n minus L should be multiple of n. Means it will be plus minus any integer into n. Means m minus n minus L should be equal to plus minus n, plus minus 2n, plus minus 3n and so on. Any value. P is an integer, plus minus. When let's suppose when this part m minus n minus L is equals to n, then e raised to power j 2 pi n upon n, n l n cancel. So e raised to power j 2 pi is equals to 1. Means when this will be equal to plus minus n, then this part will be a will be equal to 1. When this m minus n minus L is equals to 2n, then also this is equals to 1. So at any value of this part will always equals to 1. Then according to the formula, put this is equals to n when this will be equals to plus minus p into n. So the previous formula 1 by n, summation n is from 0 to n minus 1, x1 of n, L is from 0 to n minus 1, x2 of L, and the summation part is equals to n. The summation part means this whole equation is equals to n when this is equals to multiple of n. So we replace that summation with n. Now cancel out this n with n and we left with y of m is equals to summation n is from 0 to n minus 1, x1 of n, summation L is from 0 to n minus 2, 1 x2 of L. This n is cancel out. The condition was m minus n minus L is equals to plus minus pn. Remember this summation. Okay, this we consider this should be equal to plus minus pn. We consider let this is equals to minus pn. It can be equal to plus pn. Okay, so there is no problem. Then L, from here the L will be equal to pn plus m minus n. So replace L by pn plus m minus n. Means this L we have to replace this L by this part. So we write instead of L, Pn plus M minus N. The secondary summation is eliminated by this now. Now see this part. This is N minus means N. Clear this. So X of capital N minus N or plus N is circular sequence. So we can write this with x2 double bracket M minus N. So this is the proof of circular convolution property. Okay, thank you.